G'day viewers, today I'm going to show you how to write your very own song in the style of country music superstar Morgan Wallen. Here's just some of the stuff that we're going to be covering in today's video. I've managed to write a few tunes myself using these same exact guidelines, so stick around to the end of the video, you might learn something. So let's define what a Morgan Wallen song sounds like so we know what we're actually aiming for. If you had to sum it up in one sentence, I'd say it's a contemporary spin on classic country with a touch of pop flair. Getting started. Long gone are the days when songwriters would sit down with an acoustic guitar and write an entire song from scratch. These days, it's much more common for a songwriter or producer to make little demos or vibes on a computer. Morgan and the boys are no different.
Usually these days you have somebody that's pretty much sitting where they look just like him, except they're making music instead of other stuff. You know what I mean? And like a beat is going these days, and
they're working on the music.
So you
while
rarely
we're working on the song.
write with acoustic guitars anymore.
These demos are used by the producer to see whether the artist they're working with gets inspired or not by the material. If there's a little something, a little spark of inspiration, then you may choose to develop the demo into a full song. What I'm telling you to do in order to get started is just make a few demos, make a few vibes, make a few loops. We just need to get the ball rolling here. We're not trying to make a full song already. We just need to make a few different ideas, choose the best ones, get rid of the bad ones. And in that way, we're not just married to one idea. You're looking for something to get you inspired. Could be a melody, could be a lyric idea, could be a great theme for a song, could be a cool chord progression that you learned from a YouTube video. You might hear an old song and just decide to steal the progression from that song. Could be a loop from a sample pack. It really doesn't matter how you get the idea, just as long as you get one. If you're still struggling, we're now going to have a chat about chord progressions. Good news for us, some of Morgan's biggest hits are simple 4-chord diatonic loops that play almost throughout the entire song. For example, Whiskey Glasses. It's 1-5-6-4 in the key of G flat, and it plays almost throughout the entire song. This one is the famous Axis chord progression. No shame in using it. Neon Eyes, 6-4-1-5 in the key of D. And guess what? It's the same as the Axis progression, but it just starts in a different spot. Wasted on You. Again, same progression. It just has a little B diminished turnaround at the end. Now, I'm not trying to say Morgan's music is basic, because it's not. There's plenty of songs where he has more sophisticated harmony. But for my money, the quickest and easiest route to getting your song sounding like one of his is with a simple 4-chord loop. And also keep everything diatonic. Keep it in one key, no modulations. It's country music, 3 chords and a heartbreak, right? While we're on the chords, we'll just quickly have a chat about song structure too. Nearly every one of Morgan's songs follows this structure. Intro, verse 1, chorus, break. Verse 2, chorus 2, break. Third chorus, and an outro. There's no set amount of time for any of these sections, so you just got to serve the song. Do what sounds good in the moment. The shortest song on any of the 2 albums is around 2 minutes 36, and the longest is about 4 minutes 53. What I'm saying is aim to get your song between 3 minutes and 3 minutes 30. That's the perfect amount of time for the song, all right? Melody, check out my melody. Crafting effective melodies is a crucial part of songwriting, and Morgan has specific guidelines when it comes to writing his own. These rules likely helped him craft the hits. So this is what you're going to want to do to write memorable melodies, starting with the verse. Keep it Simple. How hard is that? Keep it simple. You should keep the melodic lines simple and easy to follow by avoiding too many leaps or large intervals. This will make the lyrics and story more easily understood, and it'll set us up to create a strong contrast with a more complex chorus. For example, let's have a sus of the verse in Chasing You. It just revolves around one note, G.
We used to chase the Chattanooga freight, couple of cans in a Chevrolet, catch a little air when we cross the track, sipping on something from a paper sack.
95% of the melody in up down. 3 notes.
It's Friday after 5, I got here just in time, went ahead and went a line, for I went and lost my mind, and I ain't been here long, but the bob is in the pond going up, down, up, down, up, down.
The verse in Silverado for Sale is another good example of simplicity.
Never thought I'd be calling you up today, taking out an ad for this Chevrolet. There's a ring in the window just down the street. I wanna marry her, she wants to marry me.
It doesn't have large leaps in intervals, and it stays within the range of a perfect fifth, therefore making it easy to follow. Range. A common songwriting technique is to use a lower range for the verses and then move up to a higher range for the chorus. This creates contrast and helps add drama and excitement to your song. Morgan does this technique throughout his entire catalogue. I'll show you an example. It's the song we just heard.
Money's kinda tight, but love don't care. Me and this truck been everywhere. Just need a little spot on the back page. Here's what I wanted to say. This truck will get the prettiest girl in town, sitting right beside you when you're riding around. It's got a pretty girl.
You can observe the same thing in U-Proof.
I've been sipping, I've been buzzing, shooting doubles like it's nothing. Oh, but nothing makes you go away. 'Cause I need something you proof, something stronger than I'm used to.
It's just something to think about, but yeah, you want to create a bit of a climax in the chorus, so leave somewhere for the melody to go. Chorus melodies, 1, 2, 3 method. So you want to do a chorus? Wow. All you have to do is create a big, catchy hook with lots of repetition that's easy to sing and will get stuck in your head for days. Easier said than done, right? Well, here's a little technique that will hopefully give you some inspiration for your own chorus melody. I'm calling it the 1, 2, 3 method, and I first heard about this in a lecture given by the great Leonard Bernstein. You should take the time to check out this little clip here. The crux of the idea is to establish a motif or a phrase. That's the 1. 2, then you want to repeat the phrase, perhaps with a slight variation. And then 3, you want to take it in a completely different direction. That example was the chorus to More Than My Hometown. Here's the exact same principle repeated throughout the chorus of Somebody's Problem. It's the 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's the 1, 2, 3 method. Everyone knows the method. It's the method for the hits. Now that you're aware of this, you'll hear it everywhere, all throughout his catalogue. It's in heaps of other songs. Do Morgan and his co-writers actively think about this sort of thing? Maybe, maybe not, but you can't deny it is a way to create an effective chorus. Of course, there's no concrete rules when writing a hook. You'll find thousands of hit songs that don't follow this formula, but I thought I'd share this technique as a starting point for those looking for a solid foundation to build upon. Phrasing in cadence. Morgan's songs have terrific use of phrasing. As one section of a song hands over to the next, you'll often hear a rhythmic or melodic change in the melody that helps clearly outline each part and keeps things interesting. This is a classic songwriting technique, but one of the ways that Morgan does it is with his own signature cadence. Check out the way that he delivers this line in U-Proof.
I've been sipping, I've been buzzing, shooting doubles like it's nothing, oh, but nothing makes you go away.
The same thing again in Dangerous.
I can see me sitting in the back of a cop car, banging my head on the window. I can see me pounding that last cold shot glass, losing everything in my billfold. Ooh.
And here it is in Whiskey Glasses.
Don't wanna think about it, worrying about it. Don't wanna hit the karaoke bar, can't sing without it.
It's just another great way to add contrast to your song. So if you want to sound like Morgan Wallen, you should try incorporating something similar into your own song. For example, in a verse, you could start a phrase that has a lot of space, then gradually build up to a more rhythmic vocal flow in the second half of the verse. Just like the example we just heard before in You Proof.
Someone said it drowns the memory, oh, but it ain't doing jack. I've been sipping, I've been buzzing, shooting doubles like it's nothing, oh, but nothing makes you go away, 'cause I need something you.
Vocal harmonies. All of my favourite Morgan songs have some kind of audible vocal harmonies in the choruses. These are probably either performed by Morgan himself, but more likely probably his bandmate, who you can see singing backups in this clip here.
But I wonder when you're drinking if you find yourself thinking.
Now, I know, because I studied it, the harmony generally follows the lead vocal a third above. Perhaps a fourth or a fifth where a third doesn't sound good. Gotta know your intervals. Know your intervals. Look, a good example of this would be the chorus to Seven Summers.
And I wonder when you're drinking if you find yourself thinking about that boy from East Tennessee.
Here's the notes to More Than My Hometown.
I love you more than a California sunset, more than a beer when you ain't 21 yet, more than a Sunday morning Lord turning some poor lost souls round.
It's an important part of the songs that really makes the choruses pop. So if you want to write like Morgan, it's something you're just going to have to master. Note range. We've been talking a little bit about the vocal range. So what actually is Morgan's range? How low can he sing? How high can he sing? Where should you base your melodies for your song? It all falls between C2 and C4. Get out a piano roll and check where that is. I'd say his range falls somewhere between F2 and F3, being able to go a little bit lower and a bit higher, but just in that range in general is the sweet spot, I'd say. So get your melodies in there if you can. That's what I'm saying. No falsetto stuff, no Bee Gees. Save that for another day. Let's summarize all things melody. Keep the verses simple and keep them in a low vocal range. For the choruses, move up to a higher range and experiment with more complex melodies. Use the 1-2-3 method as a foundation to build a chorus melody. Use Morgan's signature cadence to add rhythmic interest to your melodies. Add a line, a third, a fourth, a fifth, above the lead vocal in the choruses to make it pop, and use the notes that fall into the sweet spot of Morgan's vocal range. That's a wrap on all things related to the music. Now it's time to have a chat about the lyrics. The lyrics are the most important factor in getting your songs to sound like one of Morgan's. They tell the stories and connect to the listener on a deeper level than what the music can alone. Therefore, it's crucial that you take the time to get them right. Country music themes. You should probably stick to the tried and true country themes. Things like alcohol, relationships, love, heartbreak, outdoors, small towns, trucks, boats, nostalgia. Anything relating to rural life is probably going to be a safe bet. For example, all of the songs on the first side of Dangerous revolve around the theme of love and relationships. Some of the songs are positive in nature, but I'd say a majority express a feeling of heartbreak. In stark contrast to the first side of Dangerous, the second disc is less emotionally intense. It covers a wide range of themes. For example, being a southerner, hometowns, drinking, going fishing, selling a truck. All the typical subjects one might expect from a country artist. Rhymes or near rhymes, the songs, they all rhyme. Most of Morgan's music follows some kind of pattern where at the very least the chorus will rhyme. Yeah, rhymes just sound more satisfying, and if you can fit your message into a rhyming scheme, it's just gonna be more satisfying and neater. Let's look at the chorus to Sand in My Boots. The first 3 lines, you've all got a rhyme scheme where you're rhyming potholes with Silverado and Desperado, and that's the O sound. And then in the 4th line it says roots. You've got the oo sounds. But then in the next 3 lines, you've got kissed me, Tennessee, and with me, and it's an E sound. And the last line finishes up on boots. But now this last line rhymes with the 4th line, roots and boots. Rednecks, red letters, red dirt. One light, one bar, one church. Rhyme scheme, where the Lord gets thanked and the shine gets drank, while an outback brush pile burns. That's just a throwaway line there. Long, home, the way he sings it kind of makes it rhyme, and then he finishes up with work and dirt again. Here's a tip for you. You won't always be able to find a perfect rhyme, so find a near rhyme. In that last example, you can see here, dirt and work doesn't really rhyme, but it's the sound. Were, the, right? It's that IR sound that rhymes. Concept execution. This is the clever way that you write about the old topics. Let's take Whiskeyed My Way for example. The song's about a guy getting over his lover that goes on to list all the things that didn't get him through the breakup, but then says the one thing that did get him through. You know, it wasn't this, it wasn't that, it wasn't this, it wasn't that, but it was this that got me over you. Genius. More Than My Hometown does a similar thing. I love you more than this, I love you more than that, I love you more than this, more than that, but not more than this. Not more than my hometown. Wasted on you. All of this, all of that, all of this, all of that. Wasted on you. He's listing thing after thing that he's wasted on this failed relationship. You don't have to have something clever. You can just lay your song out straight. But yeah, I guess Morgan's style is to use kind of a clever way to tell a story if you can. Just give it a shot. Descriptive language paints a picture. The old saying goes, a picture's worth 1,000 words. So if you can do that in a listener's head, you're going to be able to connect to them on a very deep level. The verses in Somebody's Problem is a masterclass in this. A Bama red 4Runner pulled into the party with a 30A sticker on the back windshield. 2-tone tank top slipping off her shoulder. We've got the color of the car. We've got the description of the car. It's pulled into a party. We can picture that. On the back, it's got a 30A sticker. 2-tone tank top. You know, a certain girl only wears those. Slipping off her shoulder. So you know she's kind of a bit loose. Very descriptive, very descriptive. A+. The chorus in Hometown, another great example of this. I love you more than a California sunset. More than a beer when you ain't 21 yet. More than a Sunday morning Lord turning some poor lost souls round and hallelujah bound. The feeling when the bass hits the hook. When the guy gets the girl at the end of the book. All these things you can vividly picture in your mind. Alright, and before we wrap up talking about the lyrics, I just want to have a quick chat about authenticity. One of the reasons that we love Morgan's music so much is because it feels genuine and sounds authentic. If you came here to make carbon copies of Morgan's music, then go ahead, be my guest. But just know that you'll never be more successful at doing his sound than him. You have to find your own unique voice. You can still write about the same old themes and topics that we talked about earlier, but just do it from your perspective, wherever you happen to be in the world. There's no point in me writing about life in Tennessee because I'm not from there. I'd miss all the little references that only one who's grown up there could understand. But guess what? We've got cowboys and utes and country shit here in Australia too. Okay, in summary, use the classic country music themes and definitely try and add an alcohol reference in there somewhere. I swear like 95% of Morgan's songs have a reference to drinking. Try and come up with a clever way to get the message across and tell the story. Use descriptive language to paint a picture in your listener's head. As much as possible, try and make your song rhyme, and especially in the choruses. Use near rhymes where you can't find perfect ones. Be authentic to yourself. Be true to yourself. Express your own unique voice. And here's some guidance if you're stuck. In one sentence, if you want to write like Morgan, you're trying to come up with a clever or interesting way to write about love, relationships, heartache, or really anything relating to redneck culture. Well, mate, that's a wrap on this video. I hope you enjoyed it and you learned something new. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos. If you have any ideas for future content or you just want to say g'day, leave a comment down below. Thanks for tuning in and I'll catch you in the next one. This has been How to Write a Song Like Morgan Wallen.